Hello everyone and welcome welcome today to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of the Serology and Squil. This audio podcast is part of a Hustle and Serotype. This audio podcast is part of a Defcon premiere. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production. Today I'm continuing on looking at a transplant immunobiology and idiosyncrasy. This audio podcast will look to sort of conclude the this sort of this element in around this audio podcast premiere. So CCR5 expression has been identified to induce the activation of monocytes and T cells, additionally increasing CCR5 positive infiltrating leukocytes during both acute and chronic phases of renal acute allograft rejection, or AAR. During renal transplant rejection or renal transplant rejection or renal AAR, the distribution of CCR5 positive leukocytes in areas of endothelitis or inflammation inflammation of endothelium and tubulitis, inflammation of sort of the renal tubules, for example, and interstitial infiltrates, wherein within parts of particular and specific sort of arterioles, or the efferent arterioles and afferent arterioles of the renal of in around renal pathophysiology. There is sort of an inflammation in around the inflammation in around sort of the certain blood vessels, for certain blood vessels leading to and exiting from in context of renal anatomy, and wherein blood vessels can be infiltrated by certain cell types, and so whether it's tubulitis and interstitial infiltrates, so this mirrors the general expression of chemokines such as rantase and MIP1 alpha. The same investigators have also postulated that immunosuppression or IST, such as CSA, cyclosporine, sort of the older generation immunosuppression or IST pharmacotherapy augments the effects of CCR5 blockade, the effects of CCR5 blockade, and the functional importance of CCR5 positive leukocytes have also been identified or demonstrated in an investigation of recipients genetically lacking CCR5. Some of the most intriguing data on our chemokine receptor interaction and in around transplantation had been from investigations looking at the had been from investigations in around the functionalities or the roles of IP10 and CXCL10 and CXCR3 in allografts. Investigators had informed that, for example, CXCR3 and CXCR10 play a pivotal role in cardiac allograft rejection, and suggest a rationale for the use of agents that block CXCR3 in treatment as part of treatment of acute allograft rejection, or AAR. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast as part of the Serology and Squil. This audio podcast as part of the Hustle and Serotype. This audio podcast as part of a Defcon premiere. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production. The next audio podcast as part of this premiere, as part of this Defcon premiere. We'll look at IST or immunosuppression and acute allograft rejection, AAR, more intricately. That draws this audio podcast and this audio podcast as part of this Defcon premiere.